Defects in crystalline solids have a lot of applications. These defective crystals like cerium oxide are used in catalytic converters. They are used in solid oxide fuel cells, oxygen sensors in vehicle emission control. Silver bromide is used in developing negatives in photography. Imperfections in solids. By imperfections, what we mean is a deviation from the ideal, regular, orderly arrangement of constant particles in the case of crystalline solids. Usually, a solid consists of an aggregate of large number of small crystals. These small crystals have defects in them. This happens when crystallization process occurs at fast or moderate rate. Single crystals are formed when the process of crystallization occurs at extremely slow rate. Even these crystals are not free from defects. The defects are basically irregularities in the arrangement of constant particles. These are of two types: point defects and line defects. Point defects are the irregularities or deviations from ideal arrangement around a point or an atom in a crystalline substance, whereas line defects are the irregularities or deviations from the ideal arrangement in a row of constant particles in the crystalline substance. Now here we will be dealing only about the point defects in solids. You will be learning about line defects in higher classes. So the point defects are classified into three: impurity defects, stoichiometric defects and non-stoichiometric defects. Stoichiometric defects are again classified into vacancy, interstitial, Frenkel and Schottky defect, and non-stoichiometric defects are classified into metal excess and metal deficiency defect. So point defects are broadly classified into impurity defects, stoichiometric defects and non-stoichiometric defects. Stoichiometric defects classified into vacancy, interstitial, Frenkel and Schottky. Non-stoichiometric defects classified into metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. Now let us discuss the first classification in detail, that is the impurity defect. Impurity defect, as the name suggests, is due to the presence of impurities in a crystal. Suppose molten sodium chloride having some impurity, strontium chloride, is crystallized. When crystallization occurs, few sodium ions are replaced by strontium ions, as you can see in the figure. See, this is supposed to be a crystal of sodium chloride. You can see the violet sodium ions and the green chloride ions. And now in this particular sample shown here, this is vacant. This is supposed to be filled by sodium ion, but it is vacant. But here we have Sr2+, that is strontium ion. Sodium has +1 charge and strontium has 2+ charge. Electrical neutrality in the crystal is maintained as 2Na+ has been replaced by a single Sr2+. So this Sr2+ is now replaced a sodium ion, and here there is a vacancy of sodium ion. So two sodium ions are replaced by a single Sr2+ ions. So this type of defect is referred to as impurity defect. It is also observed in the solid solution of cadmium chloride and silver chloride. So hope you understood impurity defect. It occurs due to the presence of impurities in a crystal. Now let us move to the second type of classification, that is the stoichiometric defect. It is otherwise known as intrinsic defect or thermodynamic defect. So stoichiometric defects has two more names, intrinsic and thermodynamic. The stoichiometric defects are of four types: vacancy defect, interstitial defect, Frenkel defect and Schottky defect. We are taking the first one, vacancy defect. So you can see in the diagram there is a regular arrangement of constant particles, but you can see there is a vacancy here. So a particle is missing from this crystal. So this type of defect is referred to as a vacancy defect. This type of defect occurs when a substance is heated and few particles get lost from the crystal. So as certain particles are lost from the crystal, there occurs a decrease in density of the substance. The second type is known as interstitial defect. Lattice sites are the sites where the constituent particles are supposed to be present, whereas interstitial sites are the voids where there are no particles. Now, interstitial defect is the defect in which extra or additional particles are present at the interstitial sites. That is a deviation from the regular arrangement, as you can see here. So the orange marked particle is an extra particle present at the interstitial site. As it is an extra particle, it increases the density of the solid. We generally find the vacancy defect and interstitial defects in non-ionic solids. In ionic solids, the vacancy defect and interstitial defects are known in different names, and also they occur in a different manner. So we will see how they occur in ionic solids. So Frenkel defect or dislocation defect. Frenkel defect or dislocation defect means the dislocation of a constituent particle from its original site to an interstitial site. You look at this figure, positive charged cations are marked in red and the negatively charged anions are marked in violet. So here there is a vacancy. A cation was supposed to be in that place, but that is absent there. But instead, here look at this. So this is an interstitial site, and in that interstitial site you can see the cation. So the cation moved from its original site to an interstitial site. This is known as a dislocation defect. So here there is no extra cation or no cations missing from this crystal. The number is the same, the electrical neutrality, everything is maintained, but the position is shifted. That is why it is known as a dislocation defect. Generally, the smaller cations dislocates from its original site. So there is no change in density, creates a vacancy at its original site, and at the interstitial defect, its new site, it produces an interstitial defect. And what you have to take into consideration in this particular defect is that the cation and the anion will be having large difference in size. So this type of defect occurs when there is a large size difference between the anion and the cation. Some examples are zinc sulfide, AgCl, AgBr, AgI, where there is a large difference between the size of the anion and the cation. Next is the Schottky defect. In Schottky defect, what happens is equal number of anions and cations are found to be missing from the crystal. So look here, again the positively charged cations marked in red and the negatively charged anions marked in violet. See, there is a vacant space in the cation site and there is a vacant space in the anion site, one each. So this is known as Schottky defect. Equal number of anion and cation will be missing from the crystal lattice. As cations and anions are missing, it leads to a decrease in density. Schottky defect is seen in ionic solids having almost similar cation and anion sizes. Not like that in the case of Frenkel, where there should be a large difference in size between the anion and cation. So here there is not much difference in size. In NaCl, there is a Schottky defect per 10 raised to 16 ions. So Schottky defect is a significant presence in sodium chloride. Other examples are potassium chloride, cesium chloride and silver bromide. We saw that silver bromide shows both Frenkel defect and Schottky defect. This is because the radius ratio of silver bromide is intermediate between that of ionic solids showing Frenkel defect as well as Schottky defect. Ag plus ion is very small. Frenkel is the most prevalent defect in silver bromide, but it can also show Schottky defect. Next we can see the non-stoichiometric defects. In stoichiometric defects, the stoichiometry of the compound is not disturbed. But here in the non-stoichiometric defects, there is defect in the stoichiometry of the compound. Either there will be an excess of anion or an excess of cation. So the chemical formula of the compound will have slight differences when such type of defect occurs. Now we'll see what are these non-stoichiometric defects. The first one is metal excess defects. So that again is classified into two. The first one is due to anionic vacancy. Now look at this figure. This is a sodium chloride crystal and you can see there is a space which is supposed to be the space of a chloride ion. The chloride ions are marked in blue and the sodium ions are marked in orange. So this was supposed to be the place of one chloride ion. It is now missing in this crystal and instead E minus, that is an electron, is present there. Now how does this takes place? We'll see. This occurs when a compound, say sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is heated in the presence of sodium vapor. That is, an ionic solid is heated in the vapor of its own cation. So here we are heating sodium chloride in the presence of sodium vapor. So what happens is sodium atoms from the sodium vapor gets deposited on the surface of the sodium chloride crystal. So I am saying once again, sodium chloride is heated in the presence of sodium vapor. Sodium atoms from the sodium vapor gets deposited on the surface of the sodium chloride crystal. Once the sodium atoms has deposited on the surface of the crystal, a chloride ion from inside the crystal, it moves out. It moves out and it ionizes the sodium atoms, thereby knocking out an electron from the sodium atom and becoming sodium ion. So this electron now moves to the place formerly occupied by the chloride ion, and this place where the electron now occupies is known as Farben center or F center. So what does this electron do? This electron can get excited by absorbing light from the visible radiation, and it gives a yellow color to sodium chloride. So this is the defect, and it occurs due to anionic vacancy. So I'll explain once more. Sodium chloride is heated in the presence of sodium vapor. Sodium atoms gets deposited on the surface of the crystal. At this point of time, a chloride ion from inside the crystal diffuses out of the crystal to ionize the sodium atoms on the surface. Ionized sodium atoms means knock out the loosely bound electron from the sodium atom. Thus sodium atom becomes Na plus sodium ion. So the released electron, it now moves inside the crystal of the sodium chloride, and it will occupy the place where the chloride ion occupied earlier. And that place where the electron occupies is known as Farben center or F center. This electron gets excited, it produces color, and if it is sodium chloride, it gives yellow color. If it is lithium chloride, it gives pink color, and if it is potassium chloride, it gives violet color or lilac color. So this defect is also known as Farben center defect or F center defect. Now the second type of metal excess defect, that is due to extra cations at interstitial sites. Extra cations at interstitial sites. Now look here. In the diagram, you can see zinc oxide. O2 minus ions are the ash ones, and the zinc ions are the blue ones. So something is marked in green. That are the electrons. Those are the electrons. Now what is happening is, when zinc oxide is heated, some of the oxygen ions, it releases electrons and moves out of the crystal lattice as oxygen gas, leaving behind electrons. So this is the equation. Zinc oxide when heated becomes Zn2 plus half O2 plus 2 electrons. So the oxygen gas escapes from the crystal, leaving behind spaces. So to the interstitial sites, the zinc, there is an excess of zinc ions now in the crystal, because oxygen ions have been moved out of the crystal. It got evaporated. So zinc ions, the extra zinc ions now moves to interstitial sites, and the electrons to neighboring interstitial sites. And these electrons are possible of excitation, and in the case of zinc oxide, it turns to yellow on heating. And the formula of zinc oxide also will change to Zn1 plus XO, X depending on the number of oxygen ions that got lost from the crystal lattice. So this is the defect due to extra cations at interstitial sites. I'll explain once again. When zinc oxide is heated, some of the oxygen ions escapes from the crystal in the form of oxygen gas by leaving electrons in the crystal. Now there is an excess of zinc ions in the crystal. These zinc ions will move to interstitial sites and the electrons also move to the neighboring interstitial sites. These electrons are capable of excitation, giving yellow color to zinc oxide. It also produces a change in the formula of zinc oxide, and the new formula once the defect occurs is Zn1 plus XO. Now the second type of non-stoichiometric defect is metal deficiency defect. So the first non-stoichiometric defect was metal excess defect. There were two types, due to anion vacancy and due to extra cations. Now we have a metal deficiency defect. So this type of defect occurs in ionic solids where the cation has variable oxidation states. Now take this example, iron oxide FeO. This is the formula of FeO where iron has oxidation state Fe2 plus, oxygen O2 minus. Now look at this crystal. The ash ones or the grey ones are O2 minus and the blue ones are Fe2 plus ions. Here there are green ones in place of Fe2 plus and they are marked as Fe3 plus, and here there is also a vacancy for Fe2 plus. Now why is that? Since Fe has variable oxidation states, it has got two oxidation states, Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus. When 3 Fe2 plus ions are lost from the crystal, they are replaced by 2 Fe3 plus in order to maintain the electrical neutrality. So 3 Fe2 plus is replaced by 2 Fe3 plus. Okay, and this results in a vacancy of Fe2 plus. This is how a metal deficiency is produced. I'll explain once again. In ionic compounds having cations of variable oxidation states, a change in oxidation state of the metal can lead to metal deficiency. Certain ions having lower oxidation states will be replaced by the atoms of the same metal with a higher oxidation state. But when that occurs, what happens is it leaves vacancies, because in the compound electrical neutrality should be maintained, otherwise the compound will not be stable. So in every compound the electrical neutrality will be maintained. Hope you understood. 3 Fe2 plus ions were replaced by 2 Fe3 plus ions, leading to metal deficiency. So these are the defects. We'll recollect once again. The point defects are broadly classified into 3: impurity defect, stoichiometric defect and non-stoichiometric defect. In stoichiometric defect, there are vacancy defect, interstitial defect which occurs in non-ionic compounds. In ionic compounds, they are known as Frenkel defect and Schottky defect. In the case of non-stoichiometric defect, there are two types: metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. Metal excess defect are of two types due to anion vacancies, that is the Farben center defect, and the second type due to extra cations, where we discussed about the zinc oxide. Hope you understood the class. If you have any doubts, please write to me in the comment box. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Please subscribe to this channel for real-time video updates.